5 years ago, Kiwi ultramarathon runner Nick Ashill began an epic attempt, being truly appropriate here, attempt to run across the United States of America, run across the states to raise money and awareness for a cause very close to his heart. But a near fatal hit and run accident, incredible thing, meant that he had to postpone finishing his quest. For many people, most people I suspect it would have meant the end of that quest too, but now after 5 years, 5,400k and 16 surgeries, he's achieved something truly remarkable. We crossed live to New York to speak to Nick. Now, morning, Nick, you mad bugger. It's so lovely to have you with us. How are you feeling, you remarkable man?
I'm feeling great. It's a bit strange not having to run day 82. It's really weird.
Yes. So tell me, where did you set out from?
Yeah, I started on May 14, 2017 at the end of Santa Monica Pier, LA, and ran about 2,500 miles, but sadly I had a bit of an interaction with a large pickup truck on US 40 about 30 miles west of Columbus, the capital of Ohio, and my run came tragically to an end and spent the next couple of months in hospital. But always had the self-belief that perhaps stupidly, but self-belief that one day I would be able to, return to the United States to finish the last 1,000K, and that day became a reality yesterday. So it's really, really hard to believe and take in, but I finally got there. A little bit later than most people who cross the States, but I've got there.
It's a remarkable achievement, Nick, and made even more remarkable by that hit and run. It really did seem like that was something that would have stopped almost anyone else from finishing it. So you're an extraordinary man. I want to go back to the beginning, 5,500 kilometres ago, and your mum died of pulmonary fibrosis, and you wanted to raise awareness and you wanted to raise money. Was it also a way of dealing with the loss of your mum? Was this a place you could escape into?
Yeah, that's a great question, and the answer is certainly yes. I'd been pushing my mind and body for many years, and the truth is I was certainly looking for that next big challenge. I'd always had this fascination with Route 66 since I was a child, and rather than get on a motorcycle or drive it in a car, I thought I would run it. But at the same time, it was a good way of honouring the passing of my mum and playing a role, even though it was a small role, in developing further awareness of this horrible disease of the lungs called pulmonary fibrosis, where there is no cure, and people who are diagnosed with it have a life expectancy of anywhere between 2 and 5 years. So promoting awareness of the illness was very, very important to me.
Yeah, I want to come back and talk about the illness, because you're promoting awareness of the illness right now. So people are going to be thinking about pulmonary fibrosis right now as a result of you having this conversation with us, Nick. So thank you. But I want to come back to Route 66 and what you saw. And one of the things about running across the United States is you do see things, and you do talk to people, and you do breathe in a way you don't if you're in a car. So what was it like? What did you see? What was the great stuff?
Wow, some of the great stuff for me was on Route 66. Incredible tranquility, running in 35 degree, 38 degrees Celsius heat in the California desert, interacting with rattlesnakes on the road that would be basking themselves in the late afternoon sun. In Arizona and New Mexico, I can recall interacting with a rather large bull in Texas, and a couple of days ago, running with a Paul Wheeler, a member of my support crew, we had a phenomenal sighting of a black bear down somebody's driveway in Pennsylvania. So, these are phenomenal memories, as well as the people that you meet along the way. One example would be I remember a 1,200 meter climb in Arizona, and at the top of that climb, a lady and a family member had waited at the top of the climb in their own car. and she saw the flag, the pulmonary fibrosis flag in the back of the RV, and her husband had died of pulmonary fibrosis a few months earlier. So she stopped and wanted to give us a donation, and then shared her own personal story with the loss of her husband, and that was deeply touching.
Yeah, I can well imagine. Isn't it extraordinary that life does things like that to you? There you are in the middle of nowhere, running, and you meet someone who has a shared experience. It's a remarkable thing, Nick. So that brings us beautifully back to pulmonary fibrosis. And one of the things you're doing is you're raising awareness. You want us to talk about it. You want us to think more about it because, as you say, it's incurable. And also you're raising money. So I think let's do a shout out because, times are hard, but there'll be people watching with 10 or 20 bucks. And I just think a man who's run across the United States to raise money and awareness for something deserves a little bit of support. So if people are watching and they want to say, well done, Nick, what should they do? Where should they go?
Very, very easy. Just go to nickrunsamerica.org.nz. And that's through the Asthma and Respiratory Foundation of New Zealand. It's certainly very easy to donate. Thank you.
NickRunsAmerica.org.nz. You're going to have to change that to past tense, Nick. It's NickRanAmerica. Now, what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Well, I think I might run back to LA now, John.
Can you? I think it's important to say I failed PE at school. So what is your singularity? Where does the ultra marathon mindset come from? The ability to run 5,500 Ks across a country and a continent. Where does that come from, Nick?
I really don't know. I have a huge stubborn streak as part of my personality. And I really believe that comes from both my mum and dad. So genetics.
And so is it, and also did you love the challenge? Because clearly it became almost insurmountable after that accident, after you were hit by a gigantic ute. So obviously there is something about you that loves responding to the idea of, I'm going to do this.
Yes, my body is certainly different. I've got quite a bit of hardware left in, but I was surrounded with so many people that showed empathy and didn't judge. My wife was who saved my life on several occasions. That's a different story, but relates to this run. Those wonderful nurses and physios and doctors that put me back on my feet, and many of those incredible people joined me on day one as I ran back to Ohio State University Hospital, and that was a really, really emotional day because I hadn't seen most of those individuals for almost 5 years, and all of them have become very, very close friends now.
And when you say your wife saved your life, that's literally the case, right? Because you'd been knocked off the road by that ute, and had you not been on the phone to her at the time, no one may have known for some considerable time that the accident had happened. So there are so many extraordinary things at work here. Can you tell me what it was like? Sorry, Nick.
Sarah is a is a rock. She's an incredible lady who gives everything to everybody around her. And I have no doubt that she did save my life in that ditch. It's my understanding that I wasn't found until about 50 or so minutes later, and then flown to Ohio State University Hospital. But without her quick thinking, I wouldn't be alive today.
Well, this is an amazing story, Nick. I've lost track of how much time we've got left, so I'm going to ask you one final question, I think. But no, we've had a wrap. Very quickly, what was it like arriving in New York, having made it, Nick, after everything?
Do you know the best bit I enjoyed was obviously hugging my support crew, Jim McCord and Paul Wheeler, who have both run across America. And also giving Anna Burns-Francis a big hug as well, because she greeted me with a hot dog. and then putting my feet in the Atlantic, which was really, really soothing to help address some issues I have with ongoing blisters. I still can't believe I've done it, actually. It doesn't quite seem real yet, but I'm sure over the next couple of days it will really hit home.
You've done it, Nick, from the Pacific to the Atlantic, all the way across the United States. Remarkable. Nick Ashill, thank you so much for joining us. I think Anna's on camera there, so send her our love. And you are an incredible man, Nick. Thank you so much for joining us, and our heartfelt admiration.
Thank you, John. Thank you, New Zealand.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.